So being a manager is stressful. Especially stressful for engineers. Only one engineer out of 3 become a good boss, a good leader. Because being an engineer and being managers is not the same planet. In one thing you really do. The other you should make things done. Manage people. That's not the same planet. So do not hesitate after this MBA to renounce to business and to start a normal good career as an engineer. Business, managing people, it's okay. 1 out of 3. Okay. You can earn your life, be very happy by just doing your job, an engineer. Managing people, managing finance, okay, you should see if it's really for you. So it's stressful. So stress is the uncertainty around you. When you practice engineering, it's safe. You have the knowledge to do that. Managing people, taking risk, the strain will increase. Okay. Are you sure that you can sustain this uncertainty? Are you sure? If you can resist 240 points of stress, it's okay for management. If not, it's better to stay an expert, a professional. Never hesitate to renounce to management. Never. If you feel the stress, your intelligence will drop quickly. So it goes like this. That's performance and stress. Stress is uncertainty. Good stress, bad stress. Okay. S point. Ideal level of stress to keep you hot. Okay. For example, in business, we give you 2/3 of your compensation fixed and 1/3 variable. Pay on performance. 2/3, 1/3. If you don't like this balance, don't go for business because it's highly variable. The first thing you should be aware is stress sign. Early stress signs. Stage 1 for work overloading is quick mood variation. The reality is never good or bad. If you start to be emotional during a normal business day, it's because you are too low with serotonin. So quick mood variation. It's a very dangerous stage. It's a sign that you are work overloaded. You should do something. Quick mood variation. Bad news, you say, okay, I'm not good at this job. A good news, you drink champagne. Overreaction. Good. So that's stage number 1. You can feel that. Stage number 2 in work overloading is changing your sleep pattern. Stage 2A, you go to bed, you can't find sleep. Stage 2B, you wake up before the alarm clock. And the most serious, stage 2C, night wake up. It's proportional to the seriousness, to the danger. Because stage 3 is anxiety, depression, medical stuff. So forget that. This is just math. This is statistics between those signs and the pressure. And this is proportional, the strain is proportional to the number of people you have to manage actively. So some people can manage 2 other 3, other 10. Be aware, if you start with stage number 2, stop. It's not the right job for you. I don't speak about acute stress. If you have that for 1 week or 2, this is just a normal, good stress. But if it's installed for 1 or 2 months, at that moment, you should think about your placement in the company. In this class, you have 20% of fellows with big glands. They are stress lovers. They will like stress. They like sales. They like travel. They like change. Another 20%, they dislike this at all. They don't like change. Okay? You cannot train to correct that. This is by genetic. So it's up to you to select the right job. Your favorite stress coping habit is obviously the third pillar. So normally in class like this, when we are a normal number of 20, we ask fellows to stand up. One fellow. The exercise is simple. You could do that for yourself, not now. Present yourself, but do not mention, do not speak about your job and your family. Some poor people have nothing to say. They do not exist outside others. They do not exist outside money. So they do not exist. So the first pillar is obviously your job, your career. The second one is obviously your relationship, family and friends. But all this is external happiness. You do not control that. You do not control that. So the recommendation here is to build a third pillar, personal development. Be yourself. Be independent from others. It can be an art, a passion, an expertise, you invent that. But an activity that you practice and that is for yourself. Internal happiness, if I should use such words. You get this idea? So present yourself. Do not speak about business, do not speak about relationship, family and friends. Do you have something to say? Do you exist outside others? And this is obviously your secret garden, your castle. If you have that kind of activity, a second life, it's a protection from stress. Stress comes from business and others. If you have a stable activity where you are in control, independent from external factor, that you can practice with what you have. That's the idea. But most industrial people, most business people have a third pillar, a very strong third pillar. It's not a hobby, it's a second life. So that's your favorite, stress coping. So act on trigger. Again, it's a spirit, it's a mindset, it's a discipline. It's quite simple. You receive during a day 100 triggers, desire, intention, every day. Red lamps in your head, intention, you want to do that and that and that and that. Okay, that's trigger. Red lamp in your head. So you go back home like a Christmas tree, flashing. It's impossible to thrive with that. So the idea is to switch off red lamps as soon as they switch on. If you have any intention, desire, you take 1 minute to decide. Quickly. Be decisive. Make a decision. And the decision is simple. It's a question of 4 choices only. 4 choices. And the name is ACTE. Act. Eliminate, transmit, classify, action. Okay, executives do that all the time. So first, eliminate. Second, transmit. You have delegates. Then classify, I will do that on Wednesday. Then act, I will do that. I will write that on my to-do list. You should try with your inbox, your Outlook inbox, your mail. Executive, if 1 hour per day, and at the end it should be empty. You can achieve this result only if you have an idea of yourself. So in 1 minute they eliminate 50. What's the trick? The trick is religion. The trick is religion. Those guys, those top executives, have a God, 10 Commandments, and a Bible. They have one or two big ideas, and they follow their Bible, their God. Religion. Any kind of religion, I don't mind. But those guys are simple, they have one or two ideas, and they follow the stuff. So eliminating is easy. Is that on my control panel? Yes, no, eliminate. They have one or two very clear objectives, and they eliminate. In 1 minute, 50% of the mails are out. Again, another minute. 30% are delegate. They have a team. Then they classify. If it's the project Red October is on Wednesday, and then they are left with 2 or 3 mails, and they have 50 minutes to answer them. You get this idea of a religion, some simple ideas, some principle that you buy from the shelf or that you build for yourself. Because in this business world, it's very difficult to survive if you do not have 1 or 2 clear ideas in your head. What are the 6 figures that pilot your life? This is the same. What is your strategy? If you hesitate all the time, you're dead. At the end, your mailbox will stay full of mail. So that's the idea. Know what you want. What is your ideal day within 5 years? If you don't have a clear idea, what should be noted on your tombstone? If you can answer that, you will be lost with business. So that's the idea of act on trigger. Eliminate quickly. You trust what? What are your 10 commandments? Religions were invented for that, just to survive the flow. This is more chemistry. This is more chemistry. You need serotonin in your blood at 50 gamma to feel calm. Serotonin is produced at the base of the brain, but the factory manager gets no clock. And this serotonin molecule will survive only 30 minutes. So it's just-in-time delivery. Just-in-time delivery. So the trick is to reset your hormonal clock once a day. To let your brain and hormonal system know it's 2 p.m., it's 3 p.m. Because you will live a hectic life. Just looking at what's happened will not tell you what time it is. So most executives have one short, brief ceremony every day at the end of the afternoon. Tea time, a nap, an apple, a piece of music, a pray, you invent that. But it's a ceremony that will tell your brain it's 5. At that moment you will reset all your hormonal system. Serotonin will go up at level 50 gamma and you will feel the control. So that's the idea. One appointment with yourself every day. Why the end of the afternoon? Just because it's at that moment that medical studies shows that serotonin is going up and down the most. In the morning you don't need that because you already get one time giver. At the end of the afternoon it's a good idea to get this appointment. We conclude on stress. Stress sign, it's okay. Maybe the number 1, you are not obliged to run a business. You are not obliged to manage more than 3 people. If you don't feel like, renounce. If you feel the stress, you could also increase your organization. Planning more and things like this can help.